Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of SnowRunner. You join me today at the gas station with the Dairy Longhorn. We pulled across from Alaska specifically for this contract. This is the first contract we're going to do, and this one's for Dyson Diesel. And as you can see in the top right, it's called Pipe Dream. Part of that is to deliver this enormous trailer. It's not very big, but it's a big fuel trailer up to the factory. Nothing too serious, and I've done a bit of prep work and got the ANK down here with some metal beams on it as well, but we'll deal with that in a little bit. First of all, let's get this dairy on the road. Now, my intention with the dairy is we're going to use it in this region of Michigan, and then as soon as we have a replacement for it, we're going to sell it. And purely because it's not a very frequently used truck. Strictly speaking, I don't even need it here. I could have used our other truck and put a high saddle on it, but I mentioned before that I'd be pulling the trucks from Alaska for little features here and there, and this region is going to see us using the dairy. Now this is just going up to the factory. It's not a hugely difficult run. It's actually a really simple task if you have a decent truck, which of course the dairy is a very decent truck. All I've done to it between the last time you saw it in Alaska and now is took the chains off the wheels. It's actually the same type of wheels, just with no chains, because chains kind of suck if there's no snow. So all the vehicles that we pull from Alaska will just pull the chains off of them. And I did take the high range gearbox off of this truck as well, because although the high range gearbox makes them very fast, makes them very thirsty too, and I just can't really be bothered with that, to be completely honest. Speed is fun and all, but this isn't a game where you're setting lap records, so... And it's not like this truck is hugely slow anyway, so it's good enough with the balanced gearbox on it. But to get to the factory, we are just going to take the roads. There is shortcuts that you can take, but I put all that effort into clearing the roads, I'd be as well using them. I don't think this is the right way though. Oh no, actually it's not. No, it's not. Okay, so we want to follow the road all the way around and then go that way. Easy enough. A little bit of light deforestation. Don't think we're going to make that corner. We might have. I thought that pole was closer than it was. Not a very intuitive camera angle. Right, now there's a couple of uses for this truck. Again, what way? I think it's round to the right. I think down to the left goes to the sawmill. There's a couple of uses for this truck in this region. There's a few trailers to move. Nothing like there is in Alaska, but there's a couple. There's actually one up at the factory, which works out perfectly because we will just leave this up at the factory. It seems like a long way away, but if the road's clear, this is a very simple task, providing you don't fall into a ditch, of course. Now, we do have all-terrain tyres on here now. This truck doesn't come with the option of mud tyres, unfortunately, which is okay, I guess. The tyres that's on it are good enough for what we're going to use it for, and we shouldn't be elbow deep in the mud anytime soon with this truck. little bit of a twisty road, but if you're playing on keyboard, it's maybe somewhat problematic. But with the steering wheel, it's simple as anything. So now, to get to the factory, we just follow this road here, and I believe it just takes you straight to the front door of the factory, which is always nice. So how has your guys' weekend been? Hopefully you have had an absolutely fantastic weekend. I had a very good weekend, but I did have a sick child, so sleep was not something that really happened over the last couple of days, but that's nothing to worry about really. Let's get this trailer dropped off here. Now, much and such like before, it doesn't seem like the trailer actually disappears, but it will when we're not here. But the benefit is, well, actually I don't think I can do it. I was going to refuel from the trailer, but pretty sure. Oh no, the trailer does exist. There we are. Now let's just stop the engine and jump into the ANK. And we're going to do the exact same trip once again, but this time in our little stubby ANK, which could take every shortcut under the sun and still get there just as easy. But we'll deliver these metal beams first, and then we have to go down to the warehouse to get the bricks. So what I'll do is I will very quickly go and drop these off up at the factory, and I'll bring you guys back at the warehouse, and you can see the route that we take from there. Okay, here we are just pulling into the warehouse. It's a fairly straightforward route to get here. There's the 2 bricks that we need. And this is one of the places that you can do a little bit of lap around the back here to save you reversing if, like me, can't really be bothered with that. That probably shouldn't happen. Now from here there's multiple ways you can go. You can cut across back onto the main road and go that way. You can go left down to the garage if you really want to. I wouldn't recommend that way though. Or you can just follow this road all the way out, which it's the most direct route, but it's not the easiest. This road to the left, if you've got a subpar truck as such, that road to the left is probably your best bet if you've got an early game truck. We don't really need to worry about that. This truck will make it through this way. I know that because I just came this way. Admittedly, I was empty at the time, but it can be done. Ironically, the biggest issue I had in going this way is figuring out where the road actually went at this part. It just seemed to turn with no evidence of it, so I had to look for the exit to the road. This is a very sticky, swampy area, as you can tell. So we will spend an awful lot of time burning fuel for not much progress. That's just, unfortunately, how it goes, even in this truck. But we will make it, even if very slowly and getting very muddy in the process. If we put it into low range, make a little bit quicker progress, but we are still moving even in automatic. So it's entirely optional. And this is probably the only truck where I actually use low range on a regular basis. All the other ones doesn't really seem to make a great deal of difference. Just back into the water here. There's a bit of a zigzag path through this swamp, So there's plenty of places to get stuck, but as you can see, there's plenty of places to winch from as well. So you shouldn't have too much issue here. If you've got a slightly upgraded truck, possibly with off-road or mud tyres, then you should manage this just fine. Now the road goes around this tree. I don't see the point in doing that when you can just cut straight across. Now this section here is a little bit of a tricky camber. If you go up it too fast, you'll probably lose your load. But otherwise, it's as straightforward as it can be, and we're now almost back up to the main road, which where this comes out is very close to the factory, which is always a good sign. That's always a good thing. It's a significant shortcut, so if you've got a truck that can do it, you definitely should go that way. Otherwise, take that shortcut just off of the warehouse, and it just brings you further down this road. But absolutely make sure you've got the roads clear before you try and do this contract. Otherwise, you won't be having much fun at all. Now, the keen-eyed among you might have noticed the other large trailer that's sitting up at the factory. That is for another contract, and that is the reason we're leaving the Derry Longhorn up there, and purely because we're going to need it up there, so be as well leaving it there. But here we are, pulling in. The fuel trailer is still here, so before I deliver these bricks, I am just gonna pinch some fuel. Because it's free and there's no reason not to. There we are, $3,850 for that, and it's really that simple. And there goes the fuel trailer, gone, and will be missed. Good source of fuel up here. If you're wanting to, you can bring a fuel trailer up here of your own. It's entirely optional. But what I'm going to do now is, what I'd like to do in this region is, every time I do a main contract, I'd like to do one or two side tasks too, so that we're completing them sort of in line with the main missions. So I'm going to head back the way we came, and we're going to pick up a task. I'll see you guys when we get there and explain what the task is there. Okay, we're back into the swamp, and that trailer that's directly in front of us, the icon just popped up there, that is the task we're going to do. So we have to take that fuel carrier trailer up to the gas station where we started this episode off at. Seems like a nice round trip to make. It's going to be a little bit tricky getting a fully loaded fuel tanker out of this swamp, but if anything can do it, the A&K can do it. And like I said, we do have the likes of a winch on this truck obviously, so if need be, we can pull ourselves out of pretty much any situation we find ourselves in. And reversing through the swamp, not the easiest thing to do, even with these gigantic flotation tyres. And we stalled. Always fun. Right, let's show the task. We will accept it, we'll track it, and then we'll attach the trailer. let's dig our way out of the swamp. It's definitely going to be tricky. But on the plus side, if we do get stuck and start to run low on fuel, we've got some in the back there. So that's always handy. But I'm going to slowly dig my way through this swamp, and I'll bring you guys back when we're back onto dry land. Okay, last little bit of the swamp here, and I have changed the daytime back to 6 in the morning. It's a very nice clear morning. The fog was not very cinematic, but we do still have a little bit of it. But it's nice and bright now, which is always nice. It's always better when you can actually see what's happening in the videos. So it wasn't too bad. We never got stuck. We didn't have to use the winch. It only took a couple of minutes to get out there. And as you can see, we didn't even use too much fuel digging our way out of there either. So we'll just head along this road. This is the same road that we came down from the warehouse. But we are going to turn off. Is it here? Yes. Yes, it is here. Don't know if this is the wisest way to go with a trailer, but what's the worst that can happen? We have other trucks to help if we do end up getting stuck. Not that I expect that would happen at all. But nice easy side task this one. I don't expect it's going to net us too much in the way of a reward, just simply because it's quite simple. You've got a little bit of mud at the beginning, and again, as long as your roads are open and none of your bridges are still collapsed, you don't really have anything to worry about. This is probably the worst section that you have to deal with right here, and as you can see, that's not really much of an issue. With a non-upgraded truck, it's a bit more tricky, but still perfectly doable. I do still need to get rid of that trailer at some point, and rather than just abandoning it at the side of the road. I'm very bad for just abandoning trailers. Just a nice open section of road. Ironically, it's where I quite often crash like this. I carried too much speed down the hill and I slide into a telegraph pole. Not really the best thing to do. But almost at the gas station now. I'm almost tipped the trailer over there actually. That would have been not good. There we are, $2,400. That brings us up to almost $150,000 again, and it does clear that task from here as well. And we're going to grab another task, which is actually, I believe, down at the garage. So I'll get that all set up, and I'll bring you guys in when we're working on it. Okay, this is us now back at the garage. Now I did a couple of things off camera. As you can see, we've got the trailer I wanted rid of on board. We're just gonna sell that. Now the task is up at the town, and it requires a curtain cider trailer, which I would assume is this one here. I will just double check the map, make sure. No, it's actually all the way over there. That's much more inconvenient. even though there's one here. That's absolutely fine. I'll head up and grab that. I'll probably take the Kodiak, drop its trailer off here, and just head up and grab that. But the other thing I did while I was getting the trailer, which was left here, is down here there was an upgrade part for the SnowRunner gearbox. We have now got that, so that's absolutely awesome. We haven't got it installed on anything. I don't think we necessarily will install it on anything, but we might. But I'll jump into the Chevy Kodiak and we'll go and get the correct trailer this time, which was a bit of an oversight on my part. Okay, there is the correct trailer, and one observation, this Chevy is very quiet compared to the ANK and the Derry Longhorn. It's unusual. That was a bit bouncy, but it seems very capable even for its current upgrade condition, which isn't the best. Obviously that was running completely empty, and it does look a bit strange with no trailer on the back of it, because it's obviously set up for a fifth wheel. But we will reconnect it to the trailer, which is conveniently located across the road from the motel that we're delivering this trailer to. So that's a little bit of a bonus. Plenty of areas around here that we've not explored before as well. So we'll have to do that at some point. It's a little bit muddy here. I did take a shortcut over that bump on the way in, but this trailer would almost definitely fall over going over that bump. But a little Kodiak seems to be managing just fine, actually, all things considered. But it's so much quieter than the ANK, which, depending on how you feel, is either a good thing or a bad thing. I personally like how loud the ANK is. Very bumpy section of road, this bit. Now, the majority of this journey is overwhelmingly straightforward. If you can get out onto this road and over those stones, you've nothing to worry about. The only thing you have to do is clear the rock slide north of the town before you can do this. Otherwise you're taking quite an unpleasant detour. But if you have cleared it, then the motel is on this road that we're currently on. It's 2 corners that you've got to do, and it's a perfectly traversable path. So nothing to worry about there. There's yet another trailer I've left abandoned. Really need to stop doing that. So there's a little pop-up to tell us that we're delivering this trailer somewhere down there. And yeah, like I said, it's as easy as that. We are almost back in the town, and obviously the motel is in the town. There's a task there that we'll get to at some point as well, and a very pretty lake, even in the seemingly torrential rain that we have just now. So there is actually another trailer similar to the one that this truck usually has, and it's just down that road there, I believe. It's full of stuff that we might use at some point, but for now we don't need it. It's over there somewhere. Our trailer is just down this road. It's just coming into view right in front of us. Let's take a little shortcut. I'm sure the motel won't mind me wrecking their grass and running over all of their cones. That one is a bit more fixed. And then, just like every other contract, you just drive through the hitbox. $18.50 for that one. That does take us over the $150,000 mark. But it was unplanned to have this sitting up here, but it's a good thing I did, because convenient location for it, I suppose. So we will hitch back up to our own trailer if we can actually get into it. There we are. And we'll stop the truck there as well. But that is where I'm going to leave things for today, guys. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. If you have, don't forget to hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, you can of course subscribe. You can also ring that bell icon, that way you get notified of all future uploads. You can also leave me a comment down below, let me know what you think of the game, how your weekend's been, or just anything at all, even if it's just to say hello. That would be absolutely awesome. And of course you can also join me over on Discord. The link to Discord is in the video description. It's also over on the channel page. But I will see you guys tomorrow with yet more SnowRunner. Thank you all very kindly for watching, and I'll see you guys then. Bye for now.